You can't be serious about that, can you?
I'm very serious about it.
The bravery for running away when he got tired.
The bravery.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry. From round one, running away, jumping up and down, falling down on the floor. Yeah.
He did not, but go ahead.
For a clown show. For a freaking clown show. Jake Paul embarrassed himself, embarrassed the sport, and embarrassed everyone that calls himself a fighter.
A. Smith confronted Jake Paul following his knockout defeat to Anthony Joshua. During a live interview, Smith questioned Jake's decision to face an opponent of such elite caliber so early in his career, labeling it a risky and dangerous move. Jake replied with confidence, insisting he still has everything he needs, including top-tier trainers and preparation. He maintained that the loss would not prevent him from continuing his path in boxing.
I need a few more fights. I'm not taking him out in my next bout, but a couple more years of experience with the team I got. I'm surrounded by the best team in the world possible that money can afford, so I'm getting exponentially better.
After Jake Paul's bout with Anthony Joshua, Logan Paul responded to the backlash from fans and critics, stating that many were simply haters who would criticize regardless of the outcome. He explained that fighting at such a high level naturally invites intense scrutiny. Logan pointed out that no one realistically expected Jake to beat a two-time Olympian, but his confidence and determination made the attempt impressive, even with a broken jaw. Jake stayed upbeat, joking, and recording content from the hospital, showing his toughness and passion for boxing. Logan stressed that pushing through fear and adversity is what fuels Jake's success. Despite the loss, he views the fight as a positive, proving Jake's resilience and willingness to face challenges most people avoid.
They're haters. Haters gonna hate. It's just the name of the game, you know. When you're operating at the high level that my brother and I are, the haters come with it. I mean, statistically speaking, part-timer, I think the narrative's dead. I've been showing up every single Monday for the past month and a half. I've wrestled in 4 out of the 5 times I was there. I won every single match. So like, everyone who's yapping can now shut their trap because the narrative's dead.
I mean, you brought the receipts. I think that the proof stands for itself. And you mentioned your brother. Jake went 6 rounds on Friday night with Anthony Joshua. I know how proud you are of him. You were in the hospital with him afterwards. You called him an absolute warrior and said on your Instagram that his broken jaw won't break his spirit. How did you think, and what did you think of how the fight went down?
So, from strictly a logical point of view, I actually think it went down exactly as it was supposed to. I'm not sure anyone really thought that Jake was going to beat Anthony Joshua, but you have to understand, being his brother and in his close circle, he has this conviction that makes you believe, and he has this ability to defy reality and morph it into his vision of how it'll transpire that makes you think he'll win. However, like this was my opinion, this was a logical conclusion to the fight. The 2-time Olympian broke the influencer boxer's jaw. Like, okay, you know, we could have wrote it in a story and it would have made sense. That said, I think he did amazing. I'm incredibly proud of him. I think it was a net positive. I think the world can see now how...
Interview Eddie Hearn shared his perspective on Jake Paul's performance against Anthony Joshua, stating that critics who accused Jake of only running missed the bigger picture. From the start, it was obvious Jake had virtually no chance of winning against a fighter of Joshua's level, making survival the main goal. Hearn explained that the true test was how long Jake could last, and he surpassed expectations by going all 6 rounds. Many believed he would not last more than a few, yet he showed impressive durability against a top heavyweight. While Jake was not competitive in the traditional sense, Hearn emphasized that surviving 6 rounds under such pressure demonstrated toughness, mental strength, and resilience despite the defeat.
Oh, Jake was running and Jake was hold. But listen, I mean, at the end of the day, Jake had one job, and that was to try and survive. I mean, he was never, ever going to win the fight, ever. And if you would have said to me, do I think he'll go 6 rounds? I would have said absolutely not. I mean, I felt that it would take AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, because I knew Jake can move a bit and he'd be moving off the back foot and he'd be holding. But it was the way that he did it, I think, was actually quite impressive. Like, not that particular part, but the way that he would, you know, the way that he was strong in the clinch. You know, he wouldn't let AJ get his shots off in the clinch. He made him miss a few times. And obviously AJ's been out of the ring for a while. But to be honest, I think the most fascinating thing of the whole night in terms of the fight was how he didn't get flatlined by that right hand. I mean, I said going into the fight, he's probably going to take AJ a few rounds to get hold of him. And I also said, as soon as he lands clean, the fight's over, right? He landed a few before, but the first that he landed really clean was the final shot. But, you know, he never flatlined Jake. I mean, he did break his jaw in 2 places, which is a disaster, but there are a lot of heavyweights that would have been out cold from that right hand. I mean, one of them was Francis Ngannou in a pretty similar shot, really. Do you know what I mean? So I actually give Jake unbelievable credit for doing it in the first place, but his performance as well. I mean, I stand by the fact that I think he's just a decent cruiserweight, but like, he did go in with Anthony Joshua, and look, the world is full of criticism and opinions and negativity. Who else is doing what he's doing at what is he, late 20s? I mean, quite phenomenal. I mean, the guy's a complete madman. I'm watching him come out to that ring walk, and he's just a...
Stephen A. Smith also stated that Jake Paul cannot rely on his background as a YouTuber when stepping into the ring. With a truly elite boxer like Anthony Joshua, Smith argued that if Jake still sees himself primarily as a content creator, then he should not be facing top-level professionals. He believes that participating in high-stakes fights demands full dedication and respect for the sport, rather than leaning on fame or crossover appeal.
No boxing trainers for years. He takes the sport very seriously.
Thank you. So let me ask you, that's the question I have, because great kid, great businessman, by the way, amazing. And I know how he does all this, the character and the persona. We keep saying that he doesn't want to be a boxer. He's not a boxer, but then
Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's a boxer.
He can fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting.
Derek Chisora declined to give Jake Paul much respect after his fight with Anthony Joshua, challenging the idea that simply entering the ring is an act of bravery. He dismissed claims from figures like Chris Eubank Jr., who argued Jake deserved praise for lasting 6 rounds. Chisora noted that Jake spent much of the fight avoiding exchanges, running, falling, and throwing very few punches. He argued that bravery is not about showing up or enduring punishment for money, but about risking oneself for a greater purpose, such as fighting for one's country. While acknowledging Jake's commitment, Chisora stated that surviving 6 rounds does not automatically earn respect for courage or skill, criticizing Jake for turning the loss into social media content.
Someone who you're supposed to have, it's not supposed to look competitive, he's not supposed to hit you, he's not supposed to go more than 3 rounds, but at the same time, you need to know how to control the pressure. I think AJ's demeanor in the build-up was someone who was like, you know what, everyone's saying these things, but this is how I see it. Yeah, I rate him, he can box a bit. He did say in an interview with Steve Bunce that, like, when he was talking certain things, there's a part of me that wants to punch him in his face, but I'm just gonna chill. And I feel like that's how he handled the immense pressure.
The last time we saw AJ fuming like this, like when he actually tried to do something, was with Dylan. So we should not judge him when he says something like this, because when he don't say nothing, we say, oh, why is he not saying anything back? Yeah. And when he says something...
An analyst argued that Jake Paul should not be associated with respect in this situation, claiming the fight was driven by money rather than true competition. Inside the ring, he believes Jake's repeated clinching and holding exposed fear instead of control. The analyst explained that this reaction was understandable because Anthony Joshua was not a washed-up fighter, but an active and dangerous heavyweight. He noted Joshua's history of backing up his threats to hurt opponents. As the fight progressed and Joshua's punches landed closer, Jake became increasingly defensive and focused on survival. According to the analyst, this was self-preservation rather than bravery. He concluded that with nearly $92 million at stake, many would take the risk.
I think a lot of things were revealed inside the ring. You know, all the grabbing of the leg and stuff like that. That shouldn't have been. You know, that almost looked like, it reminded me of Troy. You guys remember Troy when Orlando Bloom's character grabbed his brother's leg, you know? You know what I mean? It looked like he was desperately scared, you know? But I think he should have been desperately scared because AJ was coming to hurt him. This wasn't a Mike Tyson fight. He wasn't 58 years old. This dude is 36. And Anthony Joshua like he said, because I've heard AJ say stuff like that. Hey, I'm gonna F you up. He said the same thing to Helenius, because he thought Helenius was looking at him crazy, and it's like, what do you know, why are you looking at me like that, right? And Helenius like, huh, you know. And what happened to Helenius? He got knocked out, and needless to say, he tested positive for something. But yeah, so if you hear AJ say, hey, I'm gonna F you up, oh yeah, that's what he means. And I think Jake Paul knew it. And I mean, he avoided a lot of big shots at the beginning of that fight, you know. But then as AJ started getting closer and those punches started getting, you know, more in range of hitting him, the grabbing happened a lot, you know, more, you know. He started gripping.